Hello once again everyone, coming to you live from the Moorish Science Temples of America. The Moorish American are the descendant of the ancient Moabite who had occupied the northwest and southwestern shore of Amexem. Where is the northwest and southwestern shore of Amexem? The northwest side of Amexem is which is known today as America. The southwestern shore of Amexem is known today as Africa. But this is not the original name of these continents. It's not the original name of Africa, and this America is not the original name of the continent. This continent, together with the continent of Africa, was once called Amexem. 700 years ago, a European general invaded the continent of Africa, whose name was Tito Africani. Invaded the northwestern side of Amexem. And according to the Romans' tradition, Rome always name its conquest after its conqueror. Therefore, the man who conquered the continent of Amexem, the southwestern side of Amexem, his name was Tito Africani. Therefore, the continent, the title of Tito, was given to Amexem, and it's now called Africa. But Africa is the name of the general who overcome and invade the continent. But Africa is not the original name of the continent. The original name of the continent is Amexem. The Moors. Who are the Moors? The Moors are the ancient Kemetics who had occupied the northwest and southwestern shore of Africa. Descendant of Moab. Moors mean Moab. The Moabites are the peoples the Bible speaks about. The Moabites were the people who occupy Egypt. The Moabites are the people who introduced civilization to the world, who introduced mathematics, science, medicine, engineering, architectural. The Moabites are responsible for that. Who are the Moabites? The Moabites are the ancient Canaanites. Where is Canaan? Canaan is known today where is Egypt, Syria, Libya, Lebanon, Afghanistan, Jordan, was known as the land of Canaan. So Jordan, Israel, Syria, Libya, Lebanon, Afghanistan, Northern Africa, Egypt is in Africa. So the Moors were the one who rises the Egyptian empire. The Moors are the one who claim in the entire African continent, who claim the entire American continent thousands of years ago. So during that time, there was an ice age. These peoples in Europe are the same African people who had went into the hills of Caucasus, which is known today as Europe, Europa. Europe is named after Sheikh Europa. Who was Sheikh Europa? A Muslim. He was a Moors, a Moabites. The Moors were the first people to inhabit the entire continent. That's who we are. Before Columbus came to America, these Moabites or these children from the house of Moabs, or these Moors or Muslims people had already been upon this continent for more than 13,000 years. These people who are known today as Indian, they are not Indian. Indian lives in India. These who were met here upon the American continent throughout the Caribbean island, these weren't Indian. Columbus was mistaken. He thought he was in India, so he called them Indian. And everybody called them Indian because he called them Indian. They weren't Indian. These were the Moabites, descendant of Old Man Cush. They were looking different because their skin tone was a little bit lighter than the others. But these were all descendant of Old Man Cush. They were all Moabites. Who are the Moabites? The Moabites are the peoples the Bible speaks about, those from the house of Moab. Two of those tribes had lived upon the American continent. The Moabites and the Hittites. After the European conquered the American continent, the name Moabites were changed and they were called the Mayan. The name Hittites were changed and they were called the Hinkers. The Moabites, or the Moors, or the black man, lives upon the Atlantic coast. It stretches from Canada till it reaches to South America. These were the Amorites, the Moor, Amorites, Allah Moors, Allah Moors, Amorites. And Brazil is called the Amazon. There you go. The Amazon is the land of the Amorites. The Amazon is their land. That's where they used to live. The Amorites used to live on the Atlantic coast, and it stretches all the way till it reaches to Venezuela and Brazil. The Amazon River is claimed by the Amorites. That's the reason why it is called the Amazon. The Hittites had lived on the Pacific coastline, stretches from Alaska until they reach all the way down to Argentina. The Hittites on the Pacific, the Amorites on the Atlantic, or the Moabites on the Atlantic. So those people who are called Indians are not Indian. These are the Amorites and Moabites people. These are the descendants of Old Man Cush. Nobody else. America. Where is America? America is this continent. It stretches from Alaska until it reaches to South America. You have North America, Central America, and South America. Not every black man that you see in Central America, South America, the Caribbean, and North America came on slave ship. No, we all did not came on slave ship. Before the European arrived upon this continent, black men were already here. Brazil is the closest point to Africa. The Moors were the navigators for thousands of years. If it wasn't for the Moors or these black men, Columbus would have never found this continent. Columbus had made 3 different trips and wind up in Africa. Unable to reach to America, it was the Moors out of Africa who went with Columbus to Spain. The Moors out of Africa went with Columbus to Spain. And it was the Moors, the navigator, the black man, the wise man who led Columbus. And he arrived upon the Caribbean island. He did not came there on his own. It was the black man who helped him, who guided. The black man was his navigator. But they don't want you to know. They don't want you to know that you are that smart. They want you to think that we are dumb. We are not dumb people. We are brilliant people. We are the most brilliant people on the planet. The Bible speaks about us. We, the black peoples, we are the secret of the universe. We not only can make houses and boats, we can create a new heaven and a new earth. That's what they don't want to tell you. They don't want you to know how brilliant you are. Now, let me share with you something. You need to know some. This whole earth is governed according to an astrological zodiac. And there are 12 zodiac signs. And some of you knows them. You have Capricorn, you have Gemini, Scorpio, you have Pisces, and you have Aquarius and many others, but 12 zodiac signs. The whole earth is governed according to these astrological zodiac signs. It takes the earth 2,300 years to move from one zodiac sign to the other. And it takes the earth 26,000 years to move through all 12 zodiac signs. Pisces. Pisces is the age of conflict, the age of misunderstanding, the age of trickery and falsehood. The Roman had adopted the astrological sign which is called Pisces. Pisces in the Bible, the two fishes, two little fishes and 5 loaves of bread. They weren't real fish and real bread. They were symbolic. Pisces is the age of great conflict, the sign that the Romans uses to conquer the world. Pisces was that age. And it lasts 2,300 years. We have just moved out of the age of Pisces. The age of Pisces is responsible for those Europeans went into Africa and came into America. The age of Pisces is responsible for the war. World War I, World War II. Pisces is that age of conflict. Pisces has just gone. We have just moved into the age of Aquarius. 2011, we move into the age of Aquarius, folks. This is no longer Pisces. Aquarius is the age of information, the age of wisdom, the age of knowledge, and a clear understanding. All the good book speaks that light shines out of darkness. Out of darkness comes the light. Do you know what it means? Light only shines out of the dark-skinned people. That's what it means. Out of darkness, out of us, the dark-skinned people, the dark race, light shines out of them. What is light? Light is the truth. The truth comes out of the dark-skinned people. Out of us comes the truth. All the prophet that came in the past were dark-skinned people. Not one of the prophet in the past was a European. Not one of the prophet in the past were a Chinese or Japanese. All the prophets of the past, everyone, were dark-skinned people. These were all black folks. That's the reason why the European does not honor prophet. They honor saints. Saints are members of the Vatican. After they die or passed away, the Vaticans come together and chooses and vote and decide whether they're going to make them a saint or not. If they have accomplished great things during their time, they call them a saint. Saints are not biblical. Saints are a European concept. Prophets are biblical. Saints are from Europe. That's the European idea. The Bible does not speak of saint. It speaks of prophet. The word that comes from the divine comes through prophet. Back in the 1700s, George Washington wrote 3 separate letters to the Grand Sheikh in Morocco, begging them permission for them to conduct business upon this continent of America. And it took 37 black men from Morocco and Saudi Arabia to come here to America, and 24 European sons to draft up the Constitution to give to the United States government. And the Moors were part of the government. The Moors are the one who set the laws. One cannot become a judge, a president, or a governor of this country unless he becomes a Moor. One cannot sit in any court in any country to judge his people unless he or she first declare his or her nationality and becomes a Moors, a Muslims. Until them becomes a Muslim, they cannot execute judgment. And if you know anyone right now today is currently sitting in a courthouse and is judging anyone, and he, she did not declare his or her nationality and becomes a Moors and is judging people, he or she is judging illegal. You have to first become a Moors. You have to declare your nationality and become a natural person, because a citizen of no country can becomes a president. You have to first becomes a Moors, because the word citizen is the new word for the old word slave. It sounds nice, but the word citizen is nothing else other than a slave. When you hear the word citizen, it means that you are a slave of one of these states. You cannot becomes a member of the branch association of England and sit at bench. Oh no, it is illegal to do so. Before you can sit at bench to judge anyone in the courthouse, you have to first declare your nationality and become a Moors. Moors mean Muslim. You have to first become a Moors, but they don't want you to know. All of these officials knows that. The president knows it, the governor knows it, those who sit in Congress knows it, those members of the Illuminati knows it, those members of the secret society knows it, those in the Masonic knows it, and we knows it because we are part of it. The Moors are part and parcel of this said government. We are not stranger. We are part of the government. Until you declare your nationality as a Moors, only then you are a free man to speak. For this reason, we are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know that they are not Negro, color folks, black people, or Ethiopian, because these names were given to slaves by slaveholder and lasted until 1865 during the time of slavery. But this is a new era of time now, and all men must now proclaim their free national name to be recognized by the government in which they live and the nation of the earth.